I got a new mic and I'm trying it out. So one of the things that I'm supposed to try at least is storytelling. I don't know. Maybe it's not just storytelling, but I'm gonna tell you a story about the time I thought I was white. So back when I lived in the Philippines, my mom had me when she was like 17 or 18. It's a crazy story. It's a long story. Anyway, she ended up meeting this guy. His name is James. Great guy. Very old though. At the time, I didn't see anything wrong with it, but hindsight, it looked like my mom was a mail order bride. So she came to the States. Took me a while to get to the States, but she was here for a good minute. In the Philippines where I grew up, it was in Cebu. There was a Catholic cathedral that I stayed at, and I went to school there, like kindergarten, pre-K, maybe first grade. And our primary language was English, right? And so when I came to the States, I didn't have any issues with talking, even though they put me in ESL. For those of you who don't know what ESL is, it's English is the second language, or English second language. All right, so back to the story. So I lived in Dewey, Arizona, and I swear it is the most backwoods part of Arizona you could, and I love Arizona. Beautiful place. And I am almost positive I was the only minority in my class. So they did this exercise. Looking back at it, it's like an appropriation thing. We did this exercise called Colors of the World. So where you had to take a little cutout of a person and put it somewhere on the globe that was on at the whiteboard. It was somewhere you were either born or somewhere you've been to, something interesting, right? So the cutout of the kids, or the little people, of course, they had white, black, brown, yellow, red, blue. And at the time, my last name was Sturgeon, so when it was my turn, it was pretty late. So all the kids went up there, and everybody, of course, little white kids in my class, they all put somewhere in the States, most of them Arizona. Some people put like, hey, I've been to Canada or Mexico or something like that. So it comes up to my turn, right? So I go up there and I pick up this little white cutout of this kid, and I put it on the Philippines, and I start talking about it. And all of a sudden, this little asshole in the back raises his hands, was like, hey, Miss Ames, Gino's not white. And I was like, what do you mean? And he pointed out that I picked up a little white boy and I put it up on there. And my teacher just looks at me silent. Well, she's silent. She didn't know what to say. I wouldn't know what to say. And I was like, what do you mean I'm not white? I'm just like you guys. And as a little kid, you don't see color. Well, I didn't see color. Apparently some people did. And I looked at my teacher all teary-eyed. I was like, what do you mean I'm not white? I'm just like you guys. And everybody starts laughing. And my teacher's like, honey, you aren't like us. And that's how she said it. And, looking back at it, like a second grade teacher or somebody like that usually is fairly young. So I don't know if she had the tact to actually take care of it. So the kids are laughing. She has to pull me out of the class. I sit in like counselor's office, and she calls my parents. And if any of you have ever grown up with an Asian parent, then you know exactly how it is. If they get a call from the school or something, you're probably going to get in trouble, because they always think that you're going to get in trouble. Anyway, so they call my parents, and it's after school, and they sit us down, and my mom's giving me that side glare, like, what the hell's going on? I'm going to get my ass beat as soon as I get home. And my teacher starts talking. It's like, hey, you have to tell your kid that he's not white. And my mom looks at me like, what? And my stepdad at the time, James, he's like dumbfounded. He like looks at me and then looks at the teacher, and he's like, excuse me? And she's like, yeah. And she tells him exactly what happened. And my dad sighs just like that. And he looks at me and he's like, hey, look at me, and now look at your mom. We're different. And I was like, but Dad, well, I call him Dad, even though he's my stepdad. I'm just like you. And he's like, Gino, you don't look like me. You look like your mom. I'm different. And I was like, what do you mean you're different? And then my teacher just starts laughing, and she has to like restrain herself. So she exits the room. And as my parents were like trying to console me and she's trying to explain this concept of race, we hear these footsteps coming down the hallway, and they're loud. somebody probably in heels, and I hear another teacher asking my teacher, "Hey, what's so funny, or what's going on?" And then it gets quiet, and then both of them start laughing, and I'm just sitting there like teary eyed. I'm like, "What? What do you mean I'm not white?" And then my parents are spending like the better half of the last hour just telling me that I'm not white. But yeah, I have so many identity crises that I don't know. I guess that's why I fit in well wherever I go. I'm just like a chameleon because I want to feel like I belong. And I guess I'll continue that, I guess, in another date. But thanks for listening.